That looks so good. This is a pineapple tea I made from pineapple scraps. Should I do a video on that? All right, so we are hosting what we're calling a neighborly bakery. And what that means is that we invited our neighbors on our block to come and have coffee and pastries with us. And so today is day one of me. Today's the only day because I'm not doing that much stuff. Of me prepping everything for tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 4th of July and we're hosting it from 8:30 to 11:30 tomorrow. So I'm gonna get started. I want to make a plum cake, and I have these black plums. I have 12 black plums, and black plums are the best ones. They're the ones that are deep red inside, almost like a deep purple. And those are my favorite ones. I recently made like a plum and pineapple sage drink, and so this cake is based off that. It's an experiment. We're gonna see how it comes out. I do have a backup plan in case it comes out disgusting. So I wanted to, and I remember as a kid eating plums, especially black plums, and I just loved it so much. Like peaches and nectarines, those came later for me. Like plums were a first love. And so I really want to pay homage to plums in this cake. So the first thing that we're gonna do is, it's a regular cream the butter and sugar type cake. And I've always thought, no, I haven't always thought this, but in conceptualizing this cake, I was like, why don't we use the skin of other fruits in the same way that we use zest? So I first want to do something with the skin of the plum and see how that's going to come out. We are also making cookies today. We're going to make brown butter cookies. We're going to do a spicy pineapple tea. My wife is going to make cold brew coffee. And what else? We're gonna do, we're gonna do breakfast sandwiches. And that's it. And my mom is making cinnamon rolls. She's gonna bring over cinnamon rolls. I do have some decor things that I need to do. I'm making a banner out of toilet paper rolls, and it's just gonna say Neighborly Bakery, and I'm gonna hang it up in front of our driveway so that people know that we're here. And I'm gonna make like a flower garland. I'm probably gonna make a flower bouquet. And what else? That's pretty much it. Other than that, it's just getting the house clean. And yeah, I'm keeping it chill. I'm keeping it low key, like no pressure, no big thing. And I'm really excited to film these recipes. So let's get started with doing the plum sugar vibe. Yes, it is red inside. That was gonna piss me off. So we're just gonna peel it. They smell different when they're red inside. And I don't know what the name is. I thought they were called black plums, and these were all labeled as black plums, so I'm not sure. But either way, the scent is different. The taste is different. Just everything is different about them. I wanna eat it right now. I feel like this one's gonna be black inside too. I just feel like it is. No. I'm just gonna take as much flesh off as possible. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want a certain amount of flesh, and whatever amount of flesh that ends up being, that's how much of the skin I'm gonna use for the sugar. So if we have to keep cutting, then I will. And I'm going all around the seed, the pit, if you will. Does anybody watch The Pit? I really like that show. It's like so corny and bad, but it's still good. That's perfect. So that's 289 grams. And because this is my first time trying this recipe, I'm going to be making notes right here. So that's 289 grams, and that was for like small, medium plums with yellow and red flesh. All right, so I'm gonna eat that. It's sweet. Look at that beautiful color. It's like this really nice pink. I don't even know what you would call that, like a pinkish red. Right, so I'm gonna set that aside. So I'm gonna bake these skins just to roast them and cook out all the liquid. And I am doing 258 grams of sugar. And we baked off our plum skins and they turned out pretty good, like a concentrated jam. And I'll show you guys in a second. So this is what we were left with from 4 plums, and I'm just gonna add that in. All right, so that is well incorporated, and that is just the most beautiful pink I have ever seen. I don't know if the color is really picking up. Like, that is so gorgeous. Plum sugar. I love it. All right, into this mixture, I'm gonna go ahead and add in a teaspoon of vanilla. I feel like vanilla is gonna taste really nice with the plum. I'm gonna add in 1 whole stick of butter, and I'm just gonna cream the butter and sugar for 3 to 5 minutes, probably closer to 3 minutes because my butter is really tender. Those gorgeous eggs. You mean not at Home Depot? Mm-hmm. Okay.
One place does gravel, pebbles, or whatever, and they will deliver. And
Right, so our cake is in the oven, and we're gonna get started on our syrup. This is about 2 handfuls of pineapple sage, like giving it that much. So like 2 of those basically. And then I have like 1 little tiny lemon. I have 3 cups of water, and I'm gonna add in a 1/2 cup of sugar. What I'm gonna do right now is dissolve the sugar in here, and then I'm gonna add in the pineapple sage, the lemon, 4 plums, and I'm just gonna mash that all down to make a syrup. So actually I'm gonna start with 2 plums, and opposed to for the cake when I took the skins off, I'm just gonna do everything together because I'm gonna strain it. I'm gonna strain it, the skin and everything off when I add it to the cake. And again, the skin is gonna give the syrup some flavor, so that's why I'm not gonna take it off. So to start, I'm just gonna add the whole lemon, the pineapple sage, the plum, and we're gonna mash it. I have this like muddler. I wish it was longer, but I'm just gonna do that. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and add in the syrup. Oh, is it too much? It is too much. All right, so next we're working on our brown butter cookies. All right, that's done. And while we wait for the syrup to cool and the cake to finish cooking, we're gonna go ahead and finish our cookies. So this brown butter has been cooling for maybe an hour. Sometimes I'll put it in the fridge. And I'm gonna go ahead and add in our brown sugar and mix that all up. At this stage, I really want to make sure the brown sugar gets like moist, essentially. 1 egg, 1 yolk, 1 yolk. These days I'm using vanilla extract. Maybe if vanilla wasn't so expensive, I would pick up vanilla bean paste. I do like using that, but money doesn't grow on trees. Mix through. I'm also gonna have some. Oh, on TikTok. Damn. So the first thing I like to do with this recipe is to toast my spices. So when you toast spices, you don't add any oil to the pan. You're just letting them toast on their own. That's garlic powder, fennel, black pepper, red pepper flakes, rosemary, thyme, ground sage, and did I say garlic powder already? Garlic powder. And I'm just doing that until the spices turn like darker in color. And then I'm just gonna dump them all in my mortar and pestle. I'm gonna add just a little bit of salt. And I'm gonna grind it all up. Grind that up. Adding a pound of turkey, ground turkey. I'm gonna go ahead and add in my seasoning. Also like to add in 2 cloves of garlic. That's just minced, diced garlic. And I am gonna add just a little bit more salt and some maple syrup. These are gonna be maple sausages. And I'm just gonna mix that all up. I do like to mix it up like kind of firmly because it's a sausage, so you want, the more you mix it up, the more it's kind of gonna hold its shape. I'm gonna stick this in the fridge for like 30 minutes or whenever I get back to it. I'm just doing like a salty maple butter because as the biscuits come out, I'm gonna drizzle them in this butter. Pull out our biscuits. The freezer for like a and we got our maple butter. So I just did a good amount of maple syrup, the butter. I made sure it was as cold as possible to still whip it. I did a little bit of our seasoning mix in there and salt, of course. Our sausage is done. I ended up doing like maple syrup and oil in the pan. I just wanted to be like when you were a kid and you had a hot link and you put maple syrup on the hot link and put that in between 2 pieces of bread, and that was your little snack. This perfectly accomplishes that with the sticky sweetness of a sausage. You don't have to wait. I thought about baking the eggs, but I've never done that before, and I don't feel like making any errors. I'm tired. It is 8 o'clock, you guys. This felt a lot sturdier to me than using parchment. I still have to make the lemonade. All right, so I'm getting ready to do the pineapple lemonade. So in here I have pineapple, sugar, Thai basil, and a little bit of chipotle pepper, dried chipotle pepper. And I just let that sit on my countertop for a few days. And then when the sugar, in water, it has water in here. And then when the sugar was all dissolved, oh, it's too tight. When the sugar was all dissolved, I just stuck it in the fridge. And now I'm gonna strain out the syrup, add some lemon, and then fill in the rest with, should I do ice water right now or just water? I'm gonna think about that. Let me get the top loose. All right, so I'm gonna start with just adding 4 lemons, or excuse me, 2 lemons, and see how I feel about that. When you're always make some quick, hopefully it's quick, whipped cream by hand. And I'm gonna do a Greek yogurt whipped cream, and this is gonna be for the plum cake. I just think it's gonna go really good with the flavors. So I'm using 1 cup heavy cream. This is gonna be too much, I already know. It's gonna be too much. All right, we're doing 1 cup heavy cream with 1 cup of Greek yogurt. And when I use Greek yogurt, like in a recipe, I try to avoid getting the whey. I don't know why. I don't know if there is a scientific reason for that, or if maybe I should be getting the whey. I just feel like it plays with the, you know, the liquid content of your measurement. So I usually just try to avoid it. All right, so we got 1 cup of Greek yogurt. And this is actually lactose-free Greek yogurt because by Faye, I think is how you pronounce it. Because I just prefer lactose-free. Like if there's something that I can get lactose-free, I will get it. All right, I'm doing a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm doing 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Doing a 1/4 cup, excuse me, of powdered sugar. And then I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of the Jell-O pudding. Just gonna mix this by hand. First, I'm gonna get all the ingredients kind of mixed in together. And then I'm gonna move this way. Okay, so our cream is done whipping. It's very thick. And I'm just gonna put it on top. I did still a little piece. I had to make sure it was good, you guys. I think tomorrow, right before I serve it, I'm just gonna dollop a little bit of more of the plum syrup on there. But I think that looks pretty good. I'm gonna take another little slice. Just so I can check. Okay. That whipped cream is perfect. That's pretty freaking good. So I saw this tutorial online where you basically take these toilet paper rolls and you dip them in water and you let them unfurl. They become like a cute banner that you can fold into like a triangle. I want to do a really cute banner that says Neighborly Bakery and like above my driveway entrance so that people know that they're at the Neighborly Bakery, because I'm not gonna have people like in the house. I mean, people can come in the house, but the entrance is gonna be through the driveway. So this is gonna be like my little sign for that. Let's see if this works. I buy my toilet paper roll. I have a lot of toilet paper rolls because we've been planning this, not planning the party, but we've been wanting to have this party for a long time. And so I have a lot of toilet paper rolls, but Neighborly Bakery is like a lot of words. And then I wanna do 3 hearts, a heart before, a heart in the middle, and a heart at the end. I buy my paper from Real Paper Co. REEL, and they're a black owned business. And I'm not sure if this is gonna work. It's not doing any unfurling. I think I want to put hot water. So let's try that. It's a few minutes and then try that and come back. But yeah, nothing's happening right now. But you can't believe everything you see on the internet. That's the whole point. So we'll see. I have a really hot jar, of really hot water, and I'm gonna dump it in and just leave it for, it does take a few minutes. I thought it was like instant based on the videos. And then you get 3 of these. You get 3 of these from each roll, and then you just fold them like this. And I'll write on it in the morning. And they're not straight triangles, but I think that's pretty cute. I love this little zero waste banner idea. I love this. So then I have twine, and I'm just gonna lay them flat on the twine. I might staple them actually, because if it happens to be a windy day or whatever, I don't want any of the letters to fall. But it should go really cutely. I could even hole punch and then like feed the letters through. Here's everything I made for my first Neighborly Bakery. Neighborly Bakery is a cafe my wife and I host to get to know our neighbors better. So first I made our welcome sign from old tissue paper rolls. Basically, you put the roll in a jar of really, really hot water so it unfurls, and then you fold it. Once it's dry, you can write on it with markers or whatever. Then I made myself breakfast and jumped right into the plum cake that I made with plum sugar. I also made a syrup to douse on top. The whipped cream was so good. It's really my favorite recipe for whipped cream ever, and it was definitely the star of the show. I did steal a slice just to make sure it wasn't poison. And then I made brown butter cookies. I love making these cookies because I always have the ingredients on hand, which means I don't have to make a grocery store trip. They're always a hit at the party, and it's just so easy and simple to throw together. For our savory item, I made breakfast sandwiches, and some of them had turkey sausages that I made or beef and pork sausages. And when the biscuits came out of the oven, I brushed them with like a little bit of maple butter that I made. I also did pineapple lemonade, and fresh squeezed lemonade is just like always going to be top tier, especially with pineapple. It was so good. And our next Neighborly Bakery is coming up soon, so stay tuned for the menu. Bye.